Hello everyone. Today we're going to be discussing a topic that's very seldom discussed in regards to world history collectively. We're going to be discussing nah, I'm kidding. So we will be discussing something that is very seldom discussed as usual, which is African cuisine. Normally people talk about Greek food or Italian food or Mexican food or Chinese or Japanese, hibachi, whatever, but we never really hear about African cuisine. I mean, the closest thing we usually get to it here in the US is Caribbean cuisine. But fortunately, I live in Columbus, Ohio, where there is a very strong African presence. There are African restaurants everywhere, and there's also African markets everywhere. So fortunately, I have the privilege of being able to purchase authentic ingredients imported directly from Africa, and I'm gonna try my hand at making some African recipes. So, as an African historian, I'm going to do my due diligence and offer everyone the history behind these dishes. The first one is West African pot roast. And I'm just going to be frank, pot roast is a pretty universal thing. It's not a traditional dish of West Africa. However, the ingredients and the spices and flavorings are very uniquely West African. I basically found some beef chuck roast on sale and I bought it, and then afterwards I looked up some recipes from West Africa that could possibly incorporate it, and this is what I came up with. And every recipe that I looked at used more or less the same ingredients, so this is what we're going to be making today. On the side, we're going to make fufu, which anybody from West Africa or even slightly familiar with West African cuisine knows what fufu is, which is pretty much just stirred and pounded flour mixed with water. It could be from cassava, could be from yams, it could be from millet, could be of various things, plantains, and it gets kind of a sticky, doughy consistency. Fufu has been a staple in West Africa for hundreds of years, possibly millennia, and it's believed to have originated in Ghana. From there, it spread across the Atlantic Ocean via the transatlantic slave trade and is still eaten widely in the Caribbean. So also another disclaimer is I've never really made any African food before aside from jollof rice, which I'm pretty sure I did that incorrectly, so please don't judge too harshly if I butcher this. So without further ado, we're going to start off with the West African pot roast, and I'm going to briefly cover the ingredients that I'll be using for this recipe. Before we do that though, I want to thank the Coldest Water for sponsoring this video. So it's been a fair amount of time since I've been using the Coldest Water thermos, and I have to say, I don't think I could, sponsorship or not by the way, I don't think I could ever use a different thermos. It's just crazy how effective this thing is. It keeps your water so cold. I literally put some cold water with ice cubes in it before bed, woke up the next morning, guess what, still cold water and ice cubes. It's like a miniature cooler, it's crazy, and I can honestly say, this thing has been helping me drink water more often, because I've been pretty bad about it in the past. This thing has definitely helped me do it more regularly. The Coldest Water thermoses can keep your water icy cold for over 36 hours. This is accomplished through its advanced lid technology, which also includes this tiny little puncture hole which lets in just enough air to build up pressure necessary to drink water through its built-in straw, thereby keeping your water much colder, much longer than other thermoses. It's so well insulated that it doesn't even sweat on the outside from condensing water, so everything around it stays dry. Also, if you take it in the water with you, it has a rubber grip and a handle so you can hang onto it easier, and it floats so you won't have to worry about it sinking to the bottom of the water. It fits in most cup holders, bike racks, and cars, and it also comes in multiple sizes. You can enter for a chance to win a free gallon thermos at the link down below, or receive a 10% discount on your entire order using my referral link, also down below. So after combining the vegetables in my crock pot, I decided I was actually going to roast them in the oven instead. With the exception of the meat, of course, I combined the rest of the ingredients into a bowl and stirred them together into a thick sauce. This includes the bay leaves, the thyme leaves, the peanut butter, the beef broth, Worcestershire sauce, tomato paste, and a little bit of vegetable oil, which I forgot to mention before, or in my particular case, I used palm oil. After setting that to the side, I seasoned the meat with salt and pepper and then pan fried them on high for about a minute or so on each side. And I added just a tad amount of palm oil just to make sure there's no sticking or burning of any kind. After building an ever so slight patina on each side, I went ahead and put the meat on top of the veggies. Afterwards, I went ahead and smothered everything with a thick sauce that I made. Prior to this, I preheated the oven to 210 degrees Fahrenheit, which would be just under 100 degrees Celsius. This slow and low temperature makes sure that the roast ends up very tender and juicy in the end, and I left it there covered tightly in foil for about 5 hours. Shortly before it was finished, I decided to get started on the fufu. This particular type of fufu derives from cocoa yam, a tuber crop indigenous to South America and Southeast Asia, but widely cultivated in West Africa today. Okay, so as you can see, we brought our water to a boil, so again, this is hard to do with one hand. I'll probably rig up something better soon, but we'll go ahead and add a little bit of the fufu mix to the water. We got to be really quick about this apparently though, because we don't want it to clump up too much. So we just immediately start stirring it rapidly. I think we had enough water. We went ahead and added a bit more. Sorry I haven't been able to walk you guys through this whole thing. It's very difficult to do this one-handed. But as you can see, we probably need a little bit more water because it's incredibly thick. But my impression so far is it smells almost completely identical to mashed potatoes. So we're gonna go ahead and add some more water, stir this a little bit more, and we'll be back into it. Okay, so after much difficulty, that's my fufu. Yeah, I know it's ugly and lumpy and terrible, but it's my first time ever doing it, so don't judge me too harshly. I'll get it better eventually in future videos, but this is what I got. I decided I'll probably break it up into smaller pieces and try frying it in some palm oil, which is apparently a thing, and I think it will probably compensate for its ugly, lumpy appearance. It's supposed to be a smooth ball, basically, and I obviously was not able to do that, nor do I think I have the proper tools or utensils to do that. But in the future, like I said, we'll probably make it a little bit better. So let's go ahead and heat up some palm oil and see what we can get going. So I went ahead and made it into a bunch of these little balls. I tried a little piece. It honestly tastes similar to, as I said, mashed potatoes. It's so bizarre. There's two different crops. How sweet potatoes and yams, for example, are two different crops, despite having similar appearance. And it's the same with other varieties of yams. These look and taste similar to potatoes. It's crazy, but it has more of like a gooey, gunky consistency. And then we have some palm oil here. As you can see, it's very thick, like hot sauce at first. Very opaque and very thick in consistency, like syrup, I'd say. But then once you get it going, it starts to melt, become more translucent. So we're gonna fry these up, maybe flatten them to like a patty shape. I don't know. We'll see whatever works best, and hope for the best. Hope for the best, really, at this point. Now that it's completely melted, it's a clear, translucent appearance, similar to any other cooking oil you're used to. And just to give you a good idea of the contrast, this is when it first goes in. You'll see just how dramatic the difference is. Look at that. That's before it's melted. So it's like melting butter, basically. You know, it just completely changes. It's pretty interesting, and you can already see that starting to dissolve right now into the mix. All right, so now that my oil is at a little sizzle, we're gonna go ahead and put these in. We're probably gonna go for more of a patty type shape. Oh, you can see I had a little bit of oil on my thumb. We're gonna go for a patty type shape. That seems like it'll cook a little more easily. Okay, so like I said, when I was making it, I said it tasted like mashed potatoes. Well, when it's fried, it tastes like hash browns. It's pretty crazy. It's a totally different crop from a totally different part of the world, but it tastes completely identical to potatoes. Interesting. Okay, so I apologize for the noise, but as you can see, this palm oil gets very, very smoky. So I have to have the fan on. Like it's, I don't know if it's just the way I cooked it or what, but here are the fufu, fried fufu. They look delicious. I love the color the palm oil gives them. As you can see, it's soaking into the napkins as well. It just looks delicious. I'm excited. I'm probably gonna salt them the same way I do with hash browns, if I'm being honest. But I'm just gonna wait for this house to clear out a bit more. And afterwards, I'm gonna go ahead and check on the pot roast. This is gonna be pretty difficult with one hand because it's quite heavy. It smells good. Oh my God, wow. Let's just hope I can get this. There we go. There we go. All right, let's open this up. Oh my God, it smells so good. Let's see what we got here. Wow. Oh my God. It smells so, like the flavor is just so rich. Like I can't even explain it. It's so good. I definitely smell like I walked into some exotic food restaurant. I've never made anything like this before, so this is great. See how tender that is. Look at that. Boom, it just like falls apart. It's so tender. Boom. Let's try a piece of that right now. All right, we're trying one little tiny morsel of it. If it'll focus in, that would be great. Maybe? No? Okay, well, we're trying one little tiny bite of it. Oh my, wow. So I opted out of salting the fufu. I'm just gonna probably smother it with some of this sauce. Look at that, just look at that. Just like all kinds of flavors in there. Yeah, as intended, fufu is typically the kind of food you eat with sauces or soups, so that's gonna be its purpose today too. All right, time to dig in. Again, please forgive me for the terrible videography. I'm using one camera, which is my phone, and that's all I have. And I have no fancy mounts or anything. But anyway, let's give it a try. Oh man, look at that. Look how delicious that is. So juicy. It's so good. It's so good. Like I said, you taste all that nutty, that slight nutty flavor from the peanut butter and the slight sweet flavor as well, also from the sweet potatoes. And then it just all the broth that from the beef that just melted into it and mixed it all together, all complemented with these bay leaves and thyme. It's just, oh my God. I can't even describe it. Let's try some of this fufu as well. It has a very interesting consistency, if you haven't noticed. Let's get that all nice and sauced up. Man, oh man. I'm impressed with myself, honestly. I'm sure I probably did a million things wrong, but it still came out good either way. Anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this video, let me know what you think. Let me know what I did wrong. Let me know what I did right. Let me know your opinions and what African recipes you'd like me to try next. I'm a meat eater, so anything very meaty, whether it's goat, lamb, beef, chicken, it doesn't matter. If it's something very, very meaty, those are the ones I usually am gonna make because I'm a meat eating man. So Also, if you would like to support the continuation of these videos, please consider supporting me on Patreon. I'm not usually one to specifically ask to support me on Patreon, but for videos like these, they do cost money. It does cost a lot of time, money, investment to actually go out and shop for these specific ingredients, put them all together, cook them. Also, the recording equipment that I need in order to support videos like these, it can get pretty pricey. As I said, all I'm using right now is my phone. And with your support, I could get extra cameras, better mounts, better quality equipment, and so on and so forth. So I really appreciate all the support thus far from you guys, and I appreciate any that may come in the future. For sources, check out my website, linked below. If you'd like to support future projects, you can do so there as well, or by clicking the join button below, or by becoming a patron. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching as usual, and always remember, we don't come from nothing.